Welcome to my live stream. I am Miss Chadwick, and today I'm going to be reading you Your Fantastic Elastic Brain, Stretch It and Shape It by JoAnn, Deak, illustrated by Sarah Ackerley. Before we start reading this book, I have a couple of things to tell you though. First, I miss you so much. I know that it has been a long time since we've seen each other, which is why I'm so excited to get to read you this book because man, I have missed getting to read my friends' books. The other thing I wanted to tell you is we're going to have a couple of things that we'll need before we read this book. Normally, when we read my book, when we read books together at my carpet, we have a turn and talk partner. And that's someone that we can turn to and talk to about the story so far. And you're going to need a turn and talk partner. A turn and talk partner could be an adult, someone in your family, like your grandma, or a sibling, like a brother or sister, or a mom or a dad. It could be a stuffed animal. I brought my friend, this is Slippy. Slippy is here to be my turn and talk partner today. Or you can just pick up your phone. So you got your phone like this. You can pick up your phone and you can call me, and I'll be your turn and talk partner. And you can tell me what you're thinking about the story. So you're going to need that turn and talk partner. That can be someone who's sitting near you, a stuffed friend, or you can always just call me and tell me what you think. All right, so we're going to read this book. It's called Your Fantastic Elastic Brain, Stretch It and Shape It. The author of this book is JoAnn Deak, illustrated by Sarah Ackerley. I want you to think for a second. I said this book is by JoAnn Deak. That means JoAnn Deak is the author. What does the author do? Think for a second. Go ahead and tell your partner, what do you think the author does? I'll be answering the phone if you're talking to me. Thank you, kindergartners. I had some friends call and tell me that the author is someone who writes the words of the story. That's right, that's what the author does. I also said that the book was illustrated by Sarah Ackerley. That means that Sarah Ackerley is the illustrator. You know what the author does, but think, what does an illustrator do? Go ahead and tell your partner, what does the illustrator do? Oh, thank you. Go ahead and hang up your phone or turn back from your partner. I had some kindergartners call and tell me that the illustrator is someone who draws the pictures in the story. That's right. Give one of these if you were thinking that too. Now, I'm going to look at the cover of this book. I see that there's a little girl on it. There's an owl and a mouse. It looks like the word brain is written in brain. What do you think this story is going to be about? Think. I'm going to ask the question one more time before you turn and talk to your partner. What is this book going to be about? Turn and tell your partner. Wow. We'll be all finished talking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Shh. I had someone call me on the phone and they told me that they think this book is going to be true facts about the brain. Give me one of these if you were thinking that too. I had someone else tell me that maybe it was going to be about different kinds of brains because there's a mouse and an owl and a person on the book. Let's find out as we read together. As we read this book today, what we're going to be thinking about is making connections between us and the book. Remember, clever readers think about how books remind them of things in their own lives or things that they already know. So as we read this book, I want you to be thinking about how this reminds you about yourself. We're going to pause a couple of times in the story, and then we're going to get to turn and talk to our partner about what we've learned so far. And then at the end, we're going to talk about how this book reminds us of ourselves. So let's get started. Your Fantastic Elastic Brain, Stretch It, Shape It by JoAnn Deak, illustrated by Sarah Ackerley. What does your brain really do? Does it fill the space between your ears? Well, yes, but your brain can do so much more. Hello in there! All I see is pink stuff. Your brain helps you think and remember and name what you see and what you hear. It lets you move your body and feel both touch and emotions. Good kitty. Your brain does all the things that make you, you. Likes red foods, favorite word is elbow, ping pong champ, knows global landmarks. A landmark is something somewhere that you might recognize, like a building or a mountain. It's a mark that you might recognize if you saw it. Knows global landmarks, good at science, enjoys reading pirate books. My favorite word is foot. She's so unique. So, what is your brain? Is it a muscle? No. The brain is an organ in your body. It's made up of cells and tissues. Greetings, Earthling. Welcome to planet Oregon. There's a brain and a heart and a stomach. So your brain is a lot more like your heart or your stomach than it is like a muscle. So what is your brain? Is it a muscle? No, the brain is an organ that lives in your body. It is made up of cells and tissue. Your brain controls everything you do, everything you feel, everything you think, even everything you dream. Hey, I had that same dream. So we're going to pause right here, friends. I want you to think, what have you learned so far in this book? What have you learned so far in this book? Turn and tell your partner. Remember, you can always call me if there's not someone sitting by you. Interesting. Go ahead and hang up your phones, kindergartners. I had someone tell me that they learned that the brain controls everything they do. I also heard that someone learned that the brain is an organ like the stomach. Let's keep reading. The brain has many parts that do all kinds of different jobs. Cerebrum, hippocampus, cerebellum, amygdala, prefrontal cortex. Whoa, that is some busy pink stuff. Cerebrum, say that word with me, cerebrum. The cerebrum is the largest part of your brain. It helps you think and speak. Say that all together. Say it with me. The cerebrum is the largest part of your brain. It helps you think and speak. Cerebellum. Say that with me. Cerebellum. My turn. The cerebellum is a small part at the back of the brain that helps your muscles to coordinate your movement and balance so that you can walk, ride a bike, or play tag. So the cerebellum helps your body move and stay balanced. Prefrontal cortex. Say that with me. Prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain behind your forehead. You can point to it right here. That's your prefrontal cortex. The prefrontal cortex is the part of your brain behind your forehead. It lets you make plans and decisions. Mystery meat or secret soup? Decisions. Hippocampus. Say that with me. Hippocampus. The hippocampus is at the center of your brain, and it works like a filing cabinet to help you store and find memories. Here's the next one. Amygdala. Say that with me. Amygdala. The amygdala is a tightly packed group of cells within the center of your brain that controls your emotions. Excited, angry, embarrassed, frightened, which is like scared, sad, and happy. Neurons. Say that with me. Neurons. Neurons are everywhere in your brain. They are tiny brain cells that make electrical signals to send messages to other cells in your body, telling them what to do. Let's pause right there, kindergartners. Think, what is something you've learned about the brain so far? When you turn and tell your partner, I want you to start with, so far I've learned. Say that with me. So far I've learned. And finish that sentence to your partner. What is something you've learned so far? Think. Turn and tell your partner, so far I've learned. Oh, interesting. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Shh. I heard kindergartners and their turn and talk partners saying that so far I've learned that the amygdala controls our emotions. Or so far I've learned the prefrontal cortex is behind my forehead and it's the boss of my brain. I also heard someone say, so far I've learned that the cerebrum is the largest part of my brain. Let's keep reading. When you were first born, you were very little. Your brain was small and not so strong. As you get older, your body grows and gets stronger. As a part of your body, your brain grows and it learns new things. And you can make your brain do even more. Your brain grows very fast during the first 10 years of your life. This is the magic decade, when you can help your brain grow faster and more powerful. Just like lifting weights helps your muscles to get stronger, learning new things strengthens your brain. You can give your brain a good workout by trying to learn many different things. Like elastic bands are like something you might put in your hair. You have longer hair, you might put an elastic band in your hair. Like elastic bands that stretch when you pull them, even things that are hard at first, or that you don't like to do, or that you don't do very well, get easier when you keep trying. Think about the first time you played soccer. You probably couldn't kick the ball or make many goals. But as you kept going to practices, you learned more about rules of the game and you followed your coach's directions. The muscles in your legs and feet got stronger. Your movements were more coordinated. Coordinated means like your hand is going where you want it to go, or your legs are moving where you want them to go. The more coordinated you are, the more your brain can tell the more your brain can tell your body where to go. The muscles in your legs and feet got stronger. Your movements were more coordinated, and you could run farther and faster. Learning more and practicing what you learned let you play better and have more fun. Practice really does make perfect, or at least much better. In my classroom, we say practice makes permanent. Let's pause here. Think. What have you learned about the brain so far at this part of the story? What have we learned about the brain at this part of the story? Remember to start your sentence with, so far I've learned. Turn and tell your partner. Finish talking in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Shh. I heard a kindergartner call to tell me that they learned that their brain can stretch. I also heard someone tell me, a kindergartner called in to tell me that the more they practice something, the better they get at it. You can give one of these if you were thinking something like that too. Let's keep reading. Even when you make a mistake while you're learning something new, you are still training your brain. Abracadabra. Nothing yet. Shazam. Keep trying. Hocus pocus. You will remember that mistake. You will remember that mistake and try something else until you get it right. Making mistakes is one of the best ways your brain learns and grows. If you aren't willing to risk being wrong, you won't take the chances that stretch your elastic brain. You can stretch the part of your brain that controls your feelings too. What part of brain controls your feelings? The amygdala. That's right, that's what they're talking about here. You can stretch the part of your brain that controls your feelings too. The amygdala. Let's jump together. If you are frightened about taking a risk, like learning to swim, finding the courage to face the water stretches your amygdala. It will remind you that you overcame your fear. So you will be braver the next time something scares you, like diving into the water. Learning something new causes the brain to grow more connections among the neurons. Remember from earlier in the story when it told us a neuron is everywhere in your brain. They're tiny brain cells that make electrical signals to send messages to other parts of your body telling them what to do. So learning something new causes the brain to grow more connections among the neurons. With more connections, the neurons can send and receive more messages. These connections help to stretch a part of your brain and make it more elastic, like a rubber band, so it can hold more information and ideas. How does the brain stretch and grow? A word that begins with neuro has something to do with the brain, that word neuro. Say it with me, neuro. A word that begins with neuro has something to do with the brain. A sculptor molds, shapes, or carves things out of clay, wood, or stone. So you shape your brain when you make it bigger by adding new things you know and can do. You are a neurosculptor. Say that with me. Neurosculptor. How did you do that? Neurons, my feathered friend. When you learn something new, you're building on what you have already learned. In the same way that the muscles in your body work together when you want to lift a heavy object or kick a ball, the different parts of your brain work together when you're learning something new. I'm going to talk about all the different ways our brains work together. The amygdala, the part that controls our feelings, makes you want to learn to play the piano. The cerebellum helps you decide to practice. Oh, the cerebrum, excuse me. Remember, the cerebrum is that really big part of our brain. The cerebellum calls up the memory of watching and listening to your piano teacher when she showed you how to play the new piece of music. When your cerebellum sends the messages through neurons, the muscles in your hands and wrists and fingers so that you can hit the right notes. The next time you play that piece of music, the parts of your brain and body will know how to work together so you can play the song more easily. Let's pause. Think to yourself, kindergartners, what is something that you've learned so far in the book? What's something you've learned? Remember to start your sentence. So far, I've learned. Turn and talk to your partner. Mm-hmm. Hang up your phone. Give me 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Shh. I heard lots of really clever conversations. I heard someone tell me that the parts of our brains work together to learn new things. I heard someone tell me that they learned that they are a neurosculptor. I have heard someone tell me that they know that the word neuro means part of the brain. I heard someone tell me that a kindergartner was telling me that we can stretch our amygdala too, which means we can make ourselves feel braver. Let's keep reading. The brain that makes you is really an amazing organ. It controls what you think, do, feel, and remember. Your brain is growing very fast during the first 10 years of your life, which is right now for kindergartners. And now we know that we can help it grow. When you try hard to learn something new, connections grow from neurons and attach to other neurons. Then your brain can send messages faster, making part of your brain bigger and stronger. Making mistakes really helps when you learn because your brain keeps trying these things and stretching until you figure out the answer to your problem. You are shaping a more elastic brain when you try new things that build on what you already know. The more you learn and think about different kinds of things, the more you can learn, know, and enjoy. The harder you try without giving up, the more you will learn. You really can train your brain to be fit and strong and keep stretching and growing throughout your whole life. The end. Kindergartners, let's make some connections between this book and ourselves. I want you to think, what are some things you are good at? What are some things you are good at? Turn and talk to your partner. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. Hang up your phones, turn back. Kindergartners, I heard some of you say that you're good at number bonds. Someone else told me they were good at running. Someone else told me that they are good at gymnastics. Now I want you to think, kindergartner, what is something that you want to be good at? Like in the story, we saw some kids who wanted to be good at playing the piano, or someone who wanted to be good at swimming, or someone who wanted to be good at soccer, or someone who wanted to be good at magic. What are some things that you want to be good at, like the kids in this book? Think. Turn and talk to your partner. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, interesting. Mm-hmm. I heard someone said that they wanted to be good at magic. I heard someone say that they wanted to be good at reading. I had another kindergartner tell me that they wanted to be good at playing football. Now, we're going to think about what you learned in the book about the brain and how it stretches and grows. How can you get better at that thing? What would you practice to be better at that? We know that practicing makes our brain better, but what exactly are you going to practice to get better at that? If you wanted to be good at football, what would you practice? If you wanted to be good at reading, what can you practice doing to be a better reader? If you want to be good at diving, what can you practice to be better at that? Trying to tell your partner. Mm-hmm. 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 Finish up your conversations in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Shh. Awesome. I heard some friends say that if I'm going to be better at reading, I need to practice my letter sounds. I heard someone say, I'm going to be better at football. I'm going to have to practice throwing the ball. I heard someone say that if they wanted to be better at magic, they should practice pulling a rabbit out of the hat. Those are all different things that you can do to be better at what you're doing. Thank you so much for reading this book with me today. I have so loved getting to share this with you. If you would like to read this book again, because remember, practice makes permanent, there are people reading this book online here on YouTube, and you can check on different places to see if you can read it online. Also, if you want to keep practicing your learning about the brain, in the description of this video, I've included some links to more videos and an activity where you can label the different parts of the brain like they did in this story here. Where you can label a picture like this with all of those different parts of the brain. Thank you so much. I am hoping to get to read another book to you very, very, very soon. Know that I love and miss you all. Have a lovely rest of your day.